Hi guys, and welcome.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. You?
Good. Welcome to another episode of Digital to Talk. This is the last online episode before the summer break, and we're going to be focusing on unleashing vertical video in business to business, and we're going to be looking at new generation content and how it can empower business to business even wider than just the vertical video concept. So I'm going to briefly go through what we're going to cover today. First of all, we're going to go through the social media presence of Monday, which is a task management app. Then we're going to go and look at the strategy that Slack uses for vertical video. We're going to take a look at Adobe, not only one other product, but their whole suite, and look at how they work on a business to customer to business way. So how they focus on customers in order to pretty much ensure that all the big players will have to buy their products. Then we're going to look at the French company Dassault Systems, which has a very authentic and organic way of communicating who they are online, and they're really taking the best lessons from let's say Ryanair and all the companies that took vertical video and said, you know, we have to do something different here. And then we have a load, quite many examples for employer branding. We're going to look at Google, H&M, Starbucks, Duolingo, and Spotify. So specifically how vertical video is used in these companies in order to make sure that they get the best talent. And then for the last part, we're going to have Ilyana from HTTPool join us. She's going to present a short case study on how Spotify can be used as a new media platform to empower your employer branding and business to business opportunities. And then we're going to have a short chat with her.
Yes, so if you have a SaaS product, or if you're just a company looking to attract new talent, this is the place to be today, definitely.
Yeah, and as always, we have a bunch of video examples ready for you. You're going to be able to look at them on the YouTube link, so you're going to be able to look back at them, and we'll be sending you the entire table with all our best examples, so you can take the ones that inspired you and take them to your marketing teams to create something amazing during the summer. Why we're doing this event now is because September, October is the right time where school starts again, and it's the right time to begin talk specifically about employer branding. So we feel like the information we're going to give you is something that you can dwell off during the summer and get ready to implement it during the fall break. I mean,
Exactly.
when the summer break is over.
Exactly.
Okay?
So let's get started.
Perfect. So we are starting with Monday. So
when I was doing research for Monday, I actually saw that they have their own profile on TikTok and Instagram, of course. They are very popular SaaS products, so they don't just publish, I don't know, sales videos and so on, apologies, but they actively engage their employees to showcase the pain points their potential or existing customers may have and how their SaaS product or application actually solves them. So we prepared some great examples of how they do it on their own profile and how they also get some kind of advertisement through user-generated content.
Sure. So the first video is intentionally a bit longer. I think it sees that they really focused on how they want to script this and what they want to share. And I think the interesting thing here is, if you're going to write anything, write that they're using pain points that their customers and employees have, and they're connecting it to the product in a very organic way. So the video is longer. Just take a look and try to see how they're communicating to their audience.
Why are you so stressed? I have a presentation tomorrow. I gotta get my notes together. I've gotta get all my data prepped.
I think you really should talk to dashboards.
Stressed? You don't need all of this. Just concentrate on yourself. I've got the numbers. Well, I really don't got this. Yes, you do. Repeat after me. I am the paper. I am the paper. I did all the groundwork. I did do all the groundwork. Now take a deep breath in and out. Now just do the presentation with me. So this cue exceeded our expectations, and I'm very happy to report that we have exceeded our goals by 30%. Wow!
Yeah, so I think the brilliant thing here is that it's very clear that, you know, Monday has a dashboard, just like Asana has a dashboard, just like most of these task management tools have a dashboard. And here they took the idea of the problem that the dashboard solves and made it into a video, instead of going, this is the dashboard and this is you can do and these are all the features. Well, a video like that
Basic
also,
how-to video.
yeah, a how-to video is also good, but it will not get 250,000 views like this one did. So I think that's a good way of taking the problem and making it the core around which you build the script.
And the main focus, of course, here is how much time the app or the dashboard can save you.
Yeah, of course. But not only time, I think it also goes into show it doesn't also save you time, it also, the dashboard got your back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, you can be sure that if you're presenting with a dashboard, you are sure to win, right?
But they also do how-to videos of, for example, how you can do this and this task inside the app. Of course, this is the add-on, this kind of videos, but they have also, and we're gonna take a look at one example, how you can do, I think it's CRM, how to actually use CRM inside the Monday app.
Sure. So one thing that I would like to focus on is the first video got 275,000 views. It was probably boosted as well, meaning the goal of the video was to get new people to follow and to
interact with
the brand,
videos.
right? Now, where this video is now only has 2,000 views, but its goal is to move people down the sales funnel towards conversion, right?
And to actually educate them how to best use their platform.
Of course.
Want to see which of your sales reps are doing the best? Or the worst? Go to Monday Sales CRM, pick your board. I like to do this on opportunities. Head to your dashboard, click Add Widget, then More Widgets. Type in Leaderboard, and then Add Widget. And boom, your leaderboard is there. Filter by reps or specific dates, and feast your eyes on deal sizes, close rates, and so much more. And voila, you just made...
Okay, so as you can see, the video was focused on a solution. As we are now used to vertical video, it's short form, it's short and sweet, it goes to the main points. But the important thing is the goal is different. So we are again talking about content pillars. Each content pillar has its own goal. Like this content pillar has a goal that is further down the sales funnel. Now, if we move on to pro tips, yeah, sure, you want go ahead.
What I like about Monday is that they focus on people who will or are already are using their platform. So, for example, Monday is probably mostly used by project managers and sales reps, and they actually use their own project manager to showcase how Monday helps him.
Sure, sure.
So we're going to take a look at one example.
Yeah, and the thing that we want to note, that we want to mention here is that, yes, most of our examples are from TikTok, but this one, for example, is from their Instagram channel, and it's posted as an Instagram reel, right? Yeah. So it's still vertical, but as you can see, it's a bit more polished. It's a bit nicer, so it's a bit less TikToky and a bit more Instagrammy, but still it's vertical, and it still uses the same sort of vertical video concepts that it needs. So it's kind of not exactly a TikTok video, but it goes a long way to still stay relatively authentic and put a person first.
Definitely. And once again, if you make a video for TikTok or even to Reels, test it on other platforms that support vertical format to see maybe a video from TikTok will better perform on Shorts or Reels and so on.
Sure. Let's take a look.
Okay, what are you working on right now?
We're working on a certification program for people to apply for an online course and become Monday certified experts.
So what's your project management key takeaway you can share with us?
It may sound obvious, but this tip will change your life. Socialize. Be nice to people, create strong work relationships. It will make your projects move faster and it will be much more fun. Trust me. Hey Rosita, how are you doing? Good.
Hey Ty, you're a project manager, right?
And so one other thing that we see here and that you can start to notice in the videos that we're going to be showing you is that many times, even though the core goal is not to do employer branding, employer branding arises as an emergent quality in many of these videos. So they're shot in the office. They feature select employees from the company, and the way they interact with one another shows a lot about the culture of the company.
And additionally, they showcase again their platform. So
Yep.
they actually gain 3 goals.
Yeah, of course. So that's why we see that many companies choose to shoot content in their offices with their employees because they are ticking off 2 marks. They're showcasing their platform, but all their platform and their people and how it's used to solve problems, but at the same time creating employer branding opportunities, right?
Yeah, because you get a general feeling of what the vibe is inside their offices.
Sure. But then we have another option of creating content which could be logistically more difficult, but if you had good relationships with your client, and Monday apparently does, you can also, again, focus on the problems, but focus on the problems that you are solving for your clients. So if you look at this example, I think it's a very good way. Again, it's an Instagram Reels.
I'm the CEO of Save It. Our company provides advanced services for waste management for large enterprise. So our company is focusing on 2 main things. One is to reduce the damage created by waste, and the second thing is to collect data on waste management in large office buildings. One of the biggest problems in the waste management industry is the lack of data. So we developed a system that collects data on when and where the waste is created, understanding where there are waste hotspots, places where a lot of waste is being created. And with our collaboration with Monday.com, we can actually analyze and present our data a lot easier.
So as we can see, it's short and sweet. It might have been pulled from a longer, like, horizontal video, so it's definitely not optimized and specifically shot for this format, but it's a good way of how you can recycle content and still make it short, cut it nicely, and make it fit kind of your content mix, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And the last example is this one. So we can take a look first and then we'll
Commented on it.
make a short comment. Yeah, this one is a bit different.
I edited and optimized the freelancer's blog for SEO. Done.
Looking at last week's numbers and evaluating KPIs, done.
I just finished organizing a webinar to introduce 2 of our partners' awesome integrations. Done.
I just finished the script for ad. Done.
So I put this example for last very specifically because, and I named it employees times product features, right? So as we kind of talked about a bit before, is Monday is a task manager. So what you do is you tick things off, right? Done.
Some sort of gamification, because we get instant
Gratification, yeah.
yeah, after we tick.
Yeah, and in this case, it kind of we went into the background of the companies. We got to see the employees of what they're doing, and they're actually doing something that the apps allows everybody else to do. Now, I would say that for me, this video lacks a bit of pizzazz, I don't know how else to say it. It's a bit cringy. So I really liked the idea of the video. I don't like the execution so much, but if they're going to continue to do this, and as you saw, this was part 2, apparently it's getting them good results. So even though it still has a lot of potential to grow, it can be something that they turn into a series. For example, every Thursday we are doing this kind of video because it covers a lot. It, Task Manager Monday, it connects these 2 thoughts in the viewer and also showcases the different stuff that's going on and the people that are there, right?
And again, they all the focus was also on employer branding. So they didn't just showcase the platform, but they also introduced the general vibe of the company.
Sure. So move on to Slack.
Slack.
Aljaž, take it away.
Slack doesn't have their own TikTok channel. They have Instagram channel, but the most interesting thing is that if you type Slack or working at Slack or Slack platform, Slack SaaS into search query on TikTok, you actually get so many results. And Slack also, if you search for memes,
yeah,
on Slack, you'll get probably hundreds of thousands of results. And this is where you know that this brand has got a huge success and is widely used by companies, general people, freelancers, and so on, because they do the videos on, actually nobody told them to do it. They are not working for Slack, but they showcase their platform and how it actively solves their problems.
Yeah, so Slack is a great example of how a product becomes a part of a specific culture, a specific, so it's especially the startup scene and companies that are that. So if you use Slack, what you say about yourself is that you are relatively agile, you are young, you understand instant messaging, and even the content examples we're going to show you is people kind of show that they know the subculture genres of Slack. Just like if you use Discord, you say you're a gamer. If you use Slack, you say you're somebody that's young, in a young business that's growing and
that works in the digital environment.
Exactly.
Something like this.
And for the videos that we will show you, we don't specifically have any information which of them people created because it's something they want to say about themselves, right? Just like, you shoot yourself in a new Tesla or a new BMW, not because BMW pays you, but because you want to be associated with that brand, right? And which of the videos were paid by Slack, or Slack kind of hired people to create content that looks organic and authentic, and we can't know, right? So I think that's a good example of Slack is, of course, already built this through time, but it continues to keep it alive by supporting the hashtag Slack on TikTok, right?
You see here 130 million views. But again, Morning Brew maybe did this because they wanted to do some kind of employer branding and they showcased Slack. Or maybe Slack paid
or it's the other way around.
We don't
know,
yeah.
So, like, the thing that you can kind of get from this is kind of the holy grail of having your brand become a part of the culture, right? And as we'll see with Adobe down the line, Adobe is also part of the culture, but it's part of a different culture. And if we're talking about vertical video, because it has to be authentic in order to be successful, what better way to become a part of the culture by going and sharing yourself authentically through the vertical video first platforms. So Slack and Adobe are at the forefront, they're household names, but the lessons that you can learn from them are sort of timeless. And just one last thing, you don't have to become the household name of a huge subculture as a startup scene, right? You can choose a very small niche where you want your brand to be a household brand, right? So just keep that in mind when you're look at these next examples. You want to say something else?
Just wanted to give another example, is Canva.
Of course.
If we take a look at the search query on TikTok, Instagram, we'll find plenty of UGC videos on Canva, whether they are tips, how-to videos, or just presenting person using Canva.
Yep.
So Canva has become some kind of
culture phenomenon.
Part of culture.
So the first video we're going to look at is this one from the Morning Brew, and you can look at it through two different. You can look at it from two different ways. Again, one thing is, so it has 5 million views, and Morning Brew is a relatively famous TikTok brand, like a new kind of news site / email newsletter. So it features an influencer, as you can see. We might not know him, but the people that are watching the video definitely did. And you can see that it's supposedly a social experiment, right? Now, either did Slack pay them to do this? This is one question that you may ask. And the other question is, or did they do this for themselves just to showcase something about the company culture? And the third question that you may ask yourselves while watching the video is, what are they communicating about themselves by the answers they're giving? And are the answers authentic, or are they like sort of trying to satirically say something about themselves? So something to dwell when you're looking at the video. Hope I didn't give you too much.
But still love this one.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great example.
$50 for your boss to read your Slack messages? No. Hey Neil, would you take $100 for your boss to read your Slack messages?
Nah.
Hey Kelsey, would you take $200 for your boss to read your Slack message? No. Hey Bryce, would you take $400 for your boss to read your Slack messages?
No.
Would you take $800 for your boss to read your Slack messages?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you take $1,600 for your boss to read your Slack messages right now?
No.
Are you sure? Hey, would you take $3,200 for your boss to read your Slack messages?
Definitely not.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Would you take $6,400 to let your boss read your Slack messages?
No.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Surprise, Dan, I can read them anyway.
So I mean, I've watched it multiple times, and there's many layers of just trying to see of what gets communicated. If we look at like for purely an employer branding point of view, is you can see different parts of the office. You can see the multicultural staff they have in the offices. You can see that people are generally having fun. And at the same time, they're all working. And I don't know if the audio was authentic. There's like a hustle and bustle in the background, kind of, at our place, things are happening and they're going down. So I think that's a great example.
Still having fun.
Yeah, we're still having fun, right? So now we have two types of content, again, connected to Slack, which are trends. Again, were these people paid to make them, or did Slack so successfully penetrate the culture that they're making themselves? I mean, that's something that you can sort of look at yourself and decide.
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye. Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye.
And we look at the second one.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't 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 do it.
So this is a great example, like two short examples of, so the content is purely like vertical to its core. It understands music. It uses a variation of a popular trend. And if you've never used Slack before, it tells you nothing.
You won't get it.
You won't get it, right?
But the thing here is, I think that everybody in digital culture are now using Slack. And this is, like you said, it's some kind of, they penetrated each company's culture.
Exactly.
And I don't think they paid anyone to do these
Yeah,
videos.
I guess
but
not. It continues the.
I think we all spend at least, let's say, 2 hours on Slack per day, just communicating with our team and clients, and it's part
It
of
gets
our
into your head.
Yeah.
Right? And that like one of the messages that we wanted to get to across to you is that using vertical video, either organic or paid, sort of using a LinkedIn mindset, meaning, okay, I will now create content, I'll post it on TikTok, and I will create content that targets my end buyer directly, right? If you're a purely B2B business, this is not the right way to look at it, right? The better way of looking at it is I will create content that will influence the end consumer, that will sooner or later, or already is, become a part of the company. And because they are a part of the company, they will culturally, from the bottom up, influence on what products get approved and used by management, right? Because you know, we're not going to lie to ourselves and say that boardrooms and heads and decision makers in big companies are already looking at TikTok all day. No, but for example, Slack is a great, if most of your employees are used on Slack and they pride themselves on using Slack as something as, you know, I'm happy that I work in a company where I get to use Slack, that's what we want to achieve, right? And that's why it's so closely correlated with employer branding, because it's kind of two parts of the same story. We are focusing on the people that will be using the product, and in the end, it will always be people using the product. So it's a bottom-up approach to getting raising B2B sales in the end.
Exactly. Not just decision makers, but the people who will actually communicate and will be using this kind of tool. Same as with Monday before, they showcased project manager who was actually using the platform.
Yeah, and I have two more examples from Slack. One is, it's from this guy. It's apparently he owns a startup, and I guess Slack again just sort of comes into the video as you know, they're using Slack. But this was definitely not paid. But I think the great thing here, the great thing in this video is that, or I'll say like this, look at the video and try to decide for yourself, what does this video tell about the company culture of this guy?
Just one more thing,
Sure.
but I don't think that Slack was mentioned here intentionally.
No, it
just by
exactly.
coincidence, because again, he probably works in IT company or company that are early adopters, so they're using Slack as communication channel, and the point here is in the message that he got, and not in Slack. But this tells us that Slack is
already
way
a part
more
of the culture.
than just exactly.
And again, what I want you to notice here is, you know, let's say that this is an owner of a company. What is he saying about his company by posting something like this, right?
So I've worked in business in the corporate world for over 10 years, and I just got the most insane Slack message I've ever seen in my life. I just hired this copywriter who's a little crazy, but very, very talented. So after a couple weeks, I Slacked them and I said, I'm just blown away by the work you've done so far. You're doing a fantastic job. To which they responded, I'm just farting. You haven't seen shit yet. Like, how do I even respond to that message? I'm just farting. You haven't seen shit yet. Do I give them a raise or fire them?
Yeah, so, I mean, you get to know a lot about, somebody needs to be very relaxed with their boss in order to be able to say something like that, like this, and making sure the boss understands. The culture has to be very young and modern for the boss to not only understand this, but to showcase it as something positive, right? And you know, it's a 30-second video, but it tells a potential hiree so much about where they're going to work, right?
And
this is not a hire here. This is not something where there's a lot of red tape.
And again, what this video tells you is that this copywriter that he hired must be 100% confident about their work. That's certainly.
Yeah. So we're looking at the last Slack example. I think we're running a bit behind. So last example from Slack, and then we're moving on to Adobe. I mean, the two things that I like here is, again, Slack is a part of the culture. So if you use Slack, you know the sound, the three dots. If you don't use Slack, you don't even know what it is. And it doesn't matter if, you know, why this person made the video. If you're somebody that's thinking, you know, what kind of content can I create for my company, this can be used as an inspiration.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So it's just something from real life that's brought into the limelight. Okay, now if we go to Adobe, again, it's a household name. And again, they are primarily using, so there's different ways of how they're using social media. Of course, they have products that, especially with generative AI, have become, you know, content kind of creates, almost creates itself. But also they understand the mix, right? So on one hand, they have to showcase of what the product is like. On the other hand, they have to put their energy into the subcultures that they are empowering. So there's a subcultures of editors, there's a subculture of you know, art directors and designers, there's a subculture of audio editors. So they understand that some of their content has to be client centric, meaning they have to empower the editor, because the editor will get hired by movie studios, which will pay the licensing fee. And I think that's something that you should have in mind. And again, different content blocks fill out different roles. In vertical video, it's often one piece of video, one kind of content stream should only target one goal. If you have a secondary goal like employer branding that arises, that's great, but never try to say two things at once, because as it is, you only have 30 seconds to do so, right? So first example.
What is your favorite Premiere Pro shortcut?
Ooh, favorite keyboard shortcut in Premiere Pro?
Well, it depends if I'm on Mac or PC, but
I use the C a lot because obviously it's cut, but I also have a custom keyboard shortcut.
All right, a little trick, you gotta change it from the settings.
Ripple delete forward, and I have it with my E.
Option S to set it to frame size.
Command R for slow motion, because it's always nice when you get that footage nice and slow.
Command C to go back quickly.
Footage nice and slow.
Backslash.
I do a lot of copy and paste.
For example, this video doesn't tell us nothing because we're not editors, but editors can relate to this video because they are using this tool on a daily basis.
But see, I mean, I used to edit a lot of videos, and I used to edit in Premiere Pro.
Sorry.
No, it's sort of like some of the things I was like, I didn't even relate to them. But then that one guy said Command R to like slow down the video to do time remapping. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember when I figured that out, how many clicks it saved me. Again, we're focusing on the culture of a very specific target group of people. Okay, and from a production point of view, you could see that there was text in between. There was the sound of clicking. There was this sort of, it brought the video to a higher level because it showcased. It showcased that vertical is sound and vertical is fast. If it would only be interviews, it would be too slow. And like for my taste, I would take the best interviews and make this video 25 seconds long.
And you can always do part 1, part 2.
Of course.
I think it was Monday that they did.
So again, I titled this video.
Here's a tutorial.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Cheers.
Thank you. I gave the name of this video in the table, B2C2B with your superfans. So this kind of showcases what we've been talking about. So one of the themes, it's Adobe is paying somebody that is already using the product to showcase how they're using the product on a very advanced scale. And they're using a visually interesting idea, right? So they are communicating to the people that will actually use this in their workflows, and B, having this person make a project that is vertical specific, right? We can see that the way the whole idea is structured, it's made for vertical.
And let's not forget that they can also, for example, target people that are thinking about becoming, so people that are actually now finishing their middle school or college degree, and they want to advance to the next level, and are thinking about becoming editor or designer. This is very inspirational video, what they can do if they actually accomplish some kind of degree or course.
Tutorial on how I did these effects using Premiere Pro. To achieve the split screen, duplicate your footage layer, desaturate your top layer, and add the crop effect. Crop out the side you want colorful. To get a portal animation up, I went on Adobe Stock to download a particles video. Once you have that on your timeline, add the basic 3D effect and mess with the position till it fits perfectly. To create the 3D timeline, open up a new sequence and place all your videos on in a line like this. Then
the basic idea is this 1 minute tutorial. Cut everything to vertical, make sure that it works on a mobile screen, zoom into the screen recording very close up because people will be watching it on mobile. But the core idea is you don't need to have all your content live on your channel, right? It can actually live on channels of people that are actually using your products and are already your brand ambassadors, even if you are not paying them. And the last piece of content that sort of connects to generative AI and the last DTalk that we did is talking about the generative AI features in Adobe products. I specifically used the hashtag Photoshop beta because I think it was a great move for them to release a beta version to their creators, and then allowing creators just to come up with stuff that their own creative teams couldn't have. So for products that are of this nature, it always works to have a base of superfans, feed them their products in advance, and then allow them to create user-generated content. And because vertical video, specifically TikTok, and in the last month, especially in the Adriatic region, Instagram Reels, is giving huge amounts of organic reach to this type of content. So if you look at the strategy point of view, have a base of superfans, feed them whatever you have to feed them, give them a very basic outline, and then leverage their creativeness to create content for yourselves. And the great thing is that they're going to be thankful, and they're going to do it because you have given them something before the general population. I think this is the best idea.
Some kind of teaser.
Yeah, some kind of teaser. So you are leveraging the creativeness of your fan base.
Because once they see this video, they'll want more.
Exactly. So this video showcases, again, you have to know that these are famous memes from popular culture, and you have to know that Adobe Generative Fill is actually filling in the rest of the images. Without the context, it's just sort of like, what somebody's cropping images and then making them whole. But it's a very fast way of showcasing that things that couldn't have come to life before now come to life. But there's also different kinds of videos, like for example this one, which again showcases what is happening and how it's happening on a relatively fast pace. Loads of other videos that kind of showcase of how the tool actually works and what it produces. I love this example specifically because again it uses the music to kind of showcase the tempo and drive the storytelling of the video. Okay, now we go to a company that even if you open their profile, you can see that they just get it, right? It's called Dassault Systems. It's a French company. And you can see that what it says here is, no, we don't make planes. So why they have put this like in the very front of their communication is because a sister company or like a part of the Dassault, I hope I'm saying this correctly, I'm probably not, group makes the Rafale warplanes and other like French planes. So again, they're putting something they're not in the forefront, which I think is great and showcases that, yes, they understand what vertical is all about, and they're a software company that you could say, could be perceived as something very boring, and they're making products that the end consumer usually doesn't see. And I think that they are a great example of how to mix popular culture, understanding of vertical video, and their products to create content that really showcases that, yeah, no matter what your product is, you can make it appealing. And I'm sure that they are making a mark and getting the best people in the industry by this kind of approach.
If you're a SaaS company that makes product for end consumers, it's always easier to communicate the product and so on. But if you do it for companies and the product is not seen to end user, it's way more harder to communicate and to sell it. And I'm excited to see how they actually do it.
Sure. So let's start with We Don't Make Planes. Stop this. If you read it once again all together, Dassault System provides CAD simulation and PLM software. Hashtag we don't make planes, right? So even if you look at the hashtag we don't make planes, you can see all of the videos that tell you that no, they don't make planes. So by saying what they're not, they are bringing to light what everybody thinks they are. And
so this is actually Ryanair of B2B companies.
Yeah, this is the Ryanair of B2B. Yeah. This one I also love.
Junior, double, triple, Whopper, flame grill, taste with perfect toppers. I rule this thing. Whopper.
So what this basically is, it's the aerodynamics of a cheeseburger. So again, from people that are at least close to the industry and understand that this is a simulated laminar airflow. And it's showcasing how it goes around a 3D cheeseburger, which is stupid. You would never do that. And that's why they say in the caption, you know, just because you asked. So somebody asked them to do this and they did it. Again, showing what they're all about.
So they are actually using comments and engagement to generate new videos. And again, the music is a huge add-on here. And without the same music, without this music, it wouldn't be the same, I'm sure.
Sure. And again,
Estoy loco, estoy loco, estoy loco. La, 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 la. Estoy.
So you can see that credits to Matthias Robertson, so somebody that's using their software, right? And they're just using, you know, showcasing that, yes, even their software that does very serious stuff can be used to make memes. And this is like a way they jump on popular cultural trends. One minute and 30 seconds long. You can see the format, the end product, and how this gets modeled in SolidWorks. Again, a video from a different content pillar, right? So not all the videos are memes. Some videos are actually showcasing the product, showcasing their products in action. This one as well. So again, I like the way that they're combining two things. So there, it's sort of is watching the same thing over and over again, a sign of being insane. On one hand, on the other hand, you can see the actual quote being asking for a friend. Like sort of, it's very clearly they're saying, you know, I'm watching this days and days and days, just trying to tweak one part of the wing in order to save, you know, 2% on the fuel economy of the airplane, but the animation of the airflow over the wing is definitely something that they're doing. So I think that you put it very well. This is the Ryanair of high-tech B2B. And
they get it.
They get it. And it's employer branding on one hand, knowing that if you come work for us, it's not only going to be the computer screen and we're not boring. They're saying we're definitely not boring. We get popular culture, and at the same time we are doing serious work.
And again, it's interesting that they are doing employer branding without even showcasing any of their employees. I mean, they have some kind of videos with their employees, but most of the videos are just screenshots or screen recordings or some kind of animation.
Yeah. And the last video I want to show you, this one is, so sooner or later you hit it big. So they hit it big with 11 million views on this one. I mean, this is a genius example of, again, we are for engineers. We think different. This is who we are, but our kind of engineers are fun, right? The way we do stuff is like this. If you come to work for us, your life is not going to be boring, right? Okay, so now we go to, let's call them employer branding first profiles. What we've seen up to this point was primarily B2C2B communication with employer branding arising as an emergent property.
But
now
not
we're
being
going
in the primary plan.
Exactly. Now we're going into, okay, employer branding first.
Just before we go through the videos, I wanted to say that I think this trend started after the arrival of TikTok and vertical platforms, when people started posting videos a day in my life as, I don't know, barista, as IT software manager, as social media manager, and the companies actually saw huge potential while their employees already started posting user-generated content that they can use this kind of videos on their own channels and actually bring in new talents and showcase that people in their companies have fun.
Yeah. Do we start with Google for a day?
Yeah.
So I worked for Google for 24 hours to experience what it was like, and oh my god, I'm about to apply for a job. I could not believe it. So they have this floating staircase, which is pretty cool, and everything looks like it's in little cabinets, which is interesting, and you can watch the employees working out at the gym. They can go there whenever. Free orange juice, free smoothies, free cookies, free cake, free pasta. They have a pasta and pizza bar where it's made fresh in front of your face. All free, including this coffee shop. Oh, this really pulled on my heartstrings. I love coffee. I got an iced latte with a lot of caramel syrup in there, basically a milkshake, but it was a nice day, so I took it out onto the rooftop with the most insane views of London. Employees can take their laptops and work on the roof if they want to, and there's free ice lollies as well. Like, imagine that in summer. A snack station if you get hungry whilst you're working. They have cereal drawers full of snacks. They have tea, every single flavor of tea that you can imagine, hot chocolate, a fridge full of drinks, and best to last, a burrito bar, also free. How wild.
I'm probably changed my job after watching this.
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just, we were talking about during the video, we're not sure if this video was paid, but it's definitely that she wasn't employed there while she was shooting this video. But again, it gives you a clear view of how life or working at Google looks like, and probably encourages you to, I don't know, send a CV or apply for this and that job.
Yeah, I would even so go as far to say that, I mean, apparently she never really meant to work at Google. At least I wouldn't get that perception by scrolling through her profile. If Google did pay for it, she made a very aesthetic video that they can use to promote forward. But again, like, my setback would be, does she have a following which is the people that Google really wants
which
to
is
have.
Target group for their company, yeah.
So that's kind of, I mean, again, we're just speculating here and trying to get you into the mindset of what the right thinking paths are when thinking of this, right?
But again, this video was made for very general public.
Very general public, yeah.
Just a day in a life of any kind of employee at Google. So maybe they did reach their goal with going.
Or maybe she was a visiting influencer for part of the project and she just made that as a trending video. I think this one is, the HMN example is more authentic in a way, where I really think that the person actually works here.
Yeah, and more focused on certain type of employee in their company.
Yeah.
Alright guys, let's go to work at H&M with me. The first thing I do is go in the mall, go through this creepy little hallway, and then I go up the stairs because the elevator is still broken. Then we get to my home, H&M. Here is me checking into the back and putting away my stuff before my shift. And then here's my little outfit, cute. This is me organizing the racks. This is called garment carrying. You do like a finger width apart of all the hangers.
So this one is, I would say, yeah, it's more authentic. It doesn't have to be flashy for it to work, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it still gives people an idea of, you know, what it's like to work there. Now the next one is Starbucks Jobs, which is actually a whole Instagram channel that is dedicated to Starbucks jobs. Now I specifically, so this is the post section, I specifically clicked the reels because we are vertical focused today. So Aljaž, what do you want to say about how they're doing it?
It's interesting that many of not just IT companies but also Starbucks and maybe major brands open dedicated profile just to showcase their talents and how easy to work there. Starbucks also did it, and they're actually interviewing people that work in their coffee shops or even are franchisees. How is it to have a franchise business, or how is it to work there? What kind of benefits do they have? Or what is the most the best thing they love about their job? So maybe if we take a look at the first or one of the videos.
To try something different with Starbucks. I got here and I felt like this was home. I felt very included. Starbucks was a great opportunity for me to step into a management role. I applied and here I am. I decided to try something different.
Maybe this video is not so genuine, or you can see that it was professionally shot and probably scripted.
Yeah.
They didn't just ask her why did they come to, why did she come to work there, or what's the best thing, but probably it was scripted. I wouldn't do it this way, but I would just keep an open brief and step up to the people and ask them, because with vertical video you want to have genuine reaction and genuine feelings.
I agree. I think the main messaging here would be, and also like with the Life at Chevy profile, currently it's still mostly on Instagram, with Reels being a part of the communication, but definitely not the core for these brands. But having specific communication channels that are not LinkedIn and that are specifically tailored towards the future employees and the current employees of the brand, it's something that is emerging up and that is becoming more and more popular in the States, because Chevy the brand and Chevy the company cultural environment, at least they feel that it's so different that they can't communicate everything on one part. I would say that goes for the very, very big brands. If you can communicate who you are as a whole on one channel, I would definitely do that before creating separate channels. But we feel that we wanted to showcase this as a viable option that also works, right?
Let's just take a look at the video where they showcase how their meetings looks like, because I think
the Chevy one?
Yeah, it's directly communicated to their target group, which is pet owners.
This one?
Definitely, yeah.
1, 2, 3. P for Papas. It's a Papa's party. P for Papas. It's a Papa's party. Yay! Alright, ready? 1, 2.
Yeah. Okay, if we then just quickly go and just look at Zendesk really fast. Zendesk is a
Hello, I'm Alexa.
Zendesk, a company that has a software as a service human resources solution, and I think this is a great video. We're gonna just go a bit faster through these parts because Ilyana is already waiting for us. This is a great way of content that showcases how a company can empower you to work from home.
Hello, I'm Alexa, and welcome to the day in the life of a San Diego-based product designer. I work remotely at a super cool tech company called Zendesk, where we create customer service software that allows businesses to connect with their customers. This morning, I'm checking my email at my home office before heading out to go to my weekly physical therapy appointment. On the way home,
you can look at the whole video. It's a minute long. What I love here is that the company is empowering their employees that are TikTok natives to create content to showcase how cool it is that they could work from home. And I think this is a great example of how to do that. I have to show Duolingo just because, I mean, Duolingo is, you know, we talk about Duolingo and Ryanair, but from this point of view is they nail it, that if you use their services, their app is the same as their work environment, is the same as the people that work with there, and it's very clear that, you know, we are authentic. This is us. We have nothing to hide. At least that's the perception they're moving forward. And if you look at their content, employer branding is not the first thing they're doing. They want people to subscribe to their app, but employer branding just naturally flows from them. So that's why I'm sure that Duolingo will never make a work at Duolingo account, right? So just look at a few examples very shortly. I guess I didn't click the right one, but if you look at what's happening, it's most of the things they do are shot in the office, right? And you can see that even the mascot kind of becomes one of their employees. And some of the content is specifically tailored to showcase their office life as well.
Bésame.
teachers, I would replace my teacher with one. No one.
Show me another one.
So again, it's communicating their core message in their core way, but employees are featured, it's in their office, and the way that they put their mascot, the owl, inside the offices is, I get the feeling that if I work for Duolingo, the owl is always around. Which is, of course, I mean, there's not a guy in a mascot there all the time, but that's, that's the vibe that you get.
For the
to wrap up, right?
We'll take a look at the Spotify case. Spotify is very similar than with Zendesk. So actually
Zendesk.
Spotify has a HQ in Sweden and a couple of other offices. The nearest is in Italy. And what they wanted to communicate is that a person who applies and gets a job or is headhunted, they can choose where they want to work from. They can choose the country, they can choose the city, and if they want to work 100% remotely, they can work remotely. So this is their profile they wanted to showcase. We talked about it. It's not the best case to show, but I think they're just stepping up the game now because they're constantly inventing some kind of look at the women inventors in the company, and they pledge the diversification. They assigned some kind of diversification project, and they are very actively communicating how it is to work at their company and showcasing different kind of talents.
Sure. And I think I just opened up the Spotify TikTok channel, right? On the Spotify TikTok channel they have a different strategy because they have a huge goal of getting new customers. And on their TikTok channel, the TikTok channel is, again, it's focused on the stars that actually create music and are featured on the platform. But not only music stars, also people that read their books and podcasters and so forth. So that's why in this flood of content, employer branding first would be lost. So you still get the vibe of this must be a cool company, which you don't get just from the platform, while life at Spotify kind of, for them, it makes sense. And as you can see, the content, a lot of content looks like the Spotify yearly review. And for all of us who have Spotify and know the yearly review, that's why it makes sense for them to have content that is a bit different. And I'm sure that for this content, they are also targeting it and doing paid reach to specifically the people that they want to work for them.
Definitely.
And again, I would just focus, it's not jobs at Spotify, it's life at Spotify. So they're focusing on how it's...
Again, they wanted to get out different message, not just it's a job, but it's a part of life, working at Spotify and living the Spotify culture.
Sure. So we're going to look at one example just so we don't leave you hanging. Again,
glow.
This one?
Glow.
What really makes me glow is hearing a song I love.
Music can take you places and can change the mood you are, and you can feel over-empowered.
It makes me feel free to dance and move and get...
So the first two examples are like just pretty straightforward, going with their yearly review design because people supposedly know it. It's already been around the media for the past couple of years. And then now they also take key stars from their platform, put them on their live or Spotify channel to get the message across that, yes, even the people that work in our company are LGBTQ plus empowered and enabled, right?
Exactly.
And then I have two more examples of just showing how, again, similar to Slack, people have been creating their own own profile, or Spotify is specifically paying their employees to make this content because for these two examples, it's clear that these two people are working at the company. So a fast one and a slow one. This is the slower one.
This is my day in life as software engineer working at Spotify in New York City. I usually start my day subway. I love New York subway, making sure that everything works correctly. I really enjoy. I often find myself using it for self-reflection.
So the video is 2 minutes long, but for somebody that's, would I want to work at this company? I'm gonna watch. I want the 2-minute video, but just to grab somebody's attention, this works.
This is my day in life as software engineer working at Spotify.
369 girls wanna drink wine. Tell the man not to waste your time. If the man broke, the man he a joke. So you gotta get loose with the Henny and the Coke. 3, 2, 1 girls wanna have fun.
Again, the best thing about vertical video is user wouldn't have the same experience than it has if we would write this in some kind of document or publish a blog post. With a vertical video, you get the best experience and overview how is it to work at some kind of company, for example, Spotify. And now we're going to move on to Spotify. We're going to stay with Spotify, but move on to how companies actually use Spotify to do employer branding and drive new talents to their companies. So we will be having Ilijana from HTTPool Croatia as a guest. She prepared a couple of examples of how we can actually showcase how we can actually reach new talents through Spotify and through ads on Spotify.
So yeah, we're putting on these so we can hear Ilijana and there won't be a delay. So yeah, whenever you're ready, take it away and we'll be sure to listen and then have a talk after your presentation.
Thank you so much, guys. Just wanted to check, do you hear me well? Everything is okay? All good?
Yeah, perfect.
Sorry.
Great, thank you so much. No worries. It's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I was listening a bit. I joined like 10-15 minutes ago. So I was listening a bit and you showed some great examples. So I will just continue on the Spotify topic, as you already briefly introduced the audience with some of the best practices, how other brands are doing B2B and employer branding on TikTok. And Spotify is for sure one of the best companies to be present in the topic of employer branding on the TikTok through these kind of videos. There are multiple articles that say that do this topic around employer branding of Spotify, and they're doing really, really amazing job with their employees and with their presence on TikTok and on other channels as well. So just a brief introduction from my side. I'm Ilijana. I work at HTTPool. For those here who are joined today, if you don't know, HTTPool is the leading partner for the largest digital social media platforms like Meta, Twitter, Spotify, Snapchat, TikTok, also Reddit, Amazon, etc. From July, we will also have partnership with Pinterest. So basically, we are covering all of the platforms that are the most important to be present on. And we are providing multiple solutions to our clients, like education around these platforms, education on how to set up the campaigns, how to get the best possible results, sharing the best practices of campaigns, of creatives, and educating them on how to make the best possible outcomes of the campaigns, optimization tips, etc. So just around this strategy segment, we are very closely collaborating with all of the advertisers within all of those platforms that I listed. I'm mainly focused on Snapchat, but I also worked a lot for Spotify, and we are still let's say, providing a lot of solutions for Spotify advertising to all of our advertisers. So I will be talking a bit today about employer branding on Spotify, how brands can showcase their strength, their branding strength, and get close to a younger audience on Spotify. Because as you know, it's very hard to approach these young talents today. It's hard to find good talents, and they are not only present on Meta, they are present on all other platforms as well. Spotify is one of them. In Croatia, Spotify has between 250 to 2080K users, with majority of 18 to 35-year-old. So this is a key and strategic audience, especially for the brands who wants to attract young talent and who wants to attract employees in this age segment. So now I will present, I just prepared a few slides just to showcase a few examples of our advertisers within the employer branding topic. We had a few campaigns in this segment, and we got really good, let's say, feedback from the clients after the campaigns. And I want to showcase these examples for you. Unfortunately, I cannot share the results because we don't have official case study yet, but once we will do, we will publish it on our website. So for now, it will be just examples. Just wanted to check, do you see my screen? The screen for the Spotify deck. Okay. I guess it's all good. Okay, if somebody doesn't see the screen, please scream. So basically, just around the Spotify a little bit, for those who do not know the platform, who do not use it, Spotify is the largest music subscription service in the world, present in more than 170 countries with more than 356 million users around the globe. Why Spotify is so popular among the users? Besides, it has the best algorithm for streaming the music itself. This is the place where people go to relax. This is a place where it's stress-free environment. And often during our day, we have a lot of everyday moments, those small moments where we turn to the music, actually. If you look at the graph on the right side, we have a lot of moments, and we have a lot of, let's say, devices through which we can stream the music throughout every day. For example, car, when we commute to the work, connected devices when we listen to the when we stream the music through speakers, mobile, desktop, when we are at work or we are commuting or we are walking, working out, cleaning at house, etc. Smart TV, often when you like do some chores at home, often you just connect the Spotify on your smart TV. Also gaming consoles, you can also put the Spotify connection to your gaming consoles. So we have to explore this new way of engaging audiences during those meaningful moments throughout the day, whether those would be like morning routine, commuting, deep focus attention on work sessions, out of office relaxation time, working out, hanging out with friends. There's really a lot of moments where Spotify is our close companion, and when users are actually streaming a lot of music throughout the day. This is confirmed by the point that users spend let's say around 2.5 hours on multi-devices during a given day. So this is a very large part of the day, very large duration through which they consume this platform where we can be present as a brand. Also, the audience is 100% logged in, which means that we do not have any, let's say, suspicious users. They all have their name, they all have their account. So we know who is this audience, and they're really trusted. Also, when we conducted the research with Spotify a few years ago, we found that brands really benefit from engagement on Spotify and being present on the Spotify. Why? Because 70% of users say that advertising on Spotify makes a brand seem young, smart, genuine, innovative, reliable, relevant, and trustworthy. So this is a really great sign that we should explore much more from those standard networks where we usually try to capture our audience, which would be like Meta or LinkedIn. There are a lot of different platforms. Spotify is leading one of them, who have this audience that you want to capture, 18 to 35 years old, who would be very, very much valuable for either recruitment or just telling them how like your employer branding is strong within your brand. The fans trust Spotify. Why? Because Spotify never had, let's say, any leaks or selling data to third parties. So actually, it's a very trusted platform among millennials for data privacy and security. And we provide here quality content and enjoyable experience, meaning that when a user is listening to a certain song, they will never be interrupted throughout their experience. We have the slot for advertising after the song finishes. And in most of the times, this slot contains only 1 or 2 ads. So we do not want to bombard the users with too much of the ads in between certain songs. That's why users, this is the most loved app from the users from streaming music. And now we're moving on to a few examples from advertisers in Croatia. So just some creative examples that we had campaigns recently in this quarter. For example, those that were active in this quarter were from McDonald's and Croatian Telecom. They had campaigns that were, let's say, focused towards employer branding vertical, showcasing what are the benefits of their services, or what are the benefits of working for these kind of companies. For example, they were attracting users by showcasing the benefits of how to, like, say, find the job where you have a balance between work and private life. And with McDonald's, you can do this. So just showcasing these kind of benefits to the users. Why would they find a job at McDonald's, and what they would be given if they had a job there. Then moving on to the next example, which we had for teleperformance client. This was from the last year, where a client used Spotify and both Spotify and radio advertising with other channels as well for their campaign of recruitment of young users. So the most, let's say, valuable thing about Spotify for them is that 90% of the users, as I said, was 18 to 35, which was aligned with the necessity from their side. So they needed new recruits. They needed new people who would be hired for them within this age segment. We got a great response from this client. They did a survey after, let's say, doing the recruitment, and we got a feedback that actually a lot of people said that they heard these ads from Spotify channel. So we're always really glad that this kind of direction, the employer branding as well, and recruitment also works for the clients who are active not only on Meta and on LinkedIn, but are exploring these additional channels, which can provide a lot of value for them. Also, this is just one creative example from a campaign outside of Croatia. So just that you have also on a global level. This is a page called Monster Jobs. It's a very famous page for global jobs, let's say a search for jobs, remote jobs, etc. And they also used Spotify as their main channel for employer branding presence. This one was very catchy. So they used the tagline "Monster can smell your potential." It was a very nice campaign with a lot of great results and leads. So just to showcase you like how you can be a bit maybe more creative as well, using let's say some creative visuals and creative headlines with attracting the users. Also, one more thing that you can explore on Spotify and let's say step up the game and be even more creative and make long-term content through the Spotify channel is by branded profiles and playlists. So we have been using this tool, the branded profile tool, mostly for paid advertising and let's say tailoring the campaigns towards users, showcasing them like some product features and some songs that they can listen to within a certain moments that are connected to a certain brand. For example, on this example here, you can see a case for Barilla Italia, where they made playlists that were in the duration of how much minutes you need to cook a certain type of pasta, for example, spaghetti, fusilli, linguine, etc. This campaign was very viral, very, very successful. But let's say we can also use this kind of tool for employer branding campaigns. Just to let's say make long-term content, try to get close to these kind of users, try to get close to the Gen Z and millennials through these creative ways, not only by making playlists for just a casual listening or some certain moments. We can also showcase these kind of branded profiles within employer branding segments. So for example, like your employees can make these kind of playlists. So you like gather, I don't know, some playlist examples that were curated by your own employees from your own companies. So this can be, let's say, a tool how you can express creativity through your employees' eyes. And this is it from the examples. So just wanted to highlight once more that this young new audience, Gen Z, millennials, they're mobile first. They're tech native, they're purpose-driven decision makers, and they really blur those boundaries between work and personal life. So they want some different stuff. They want different things from their careers. As well, they want some different technologies that they use both professionally and personally. So not only do these listeners or users often turn to podcasts, which you can listen on Spotify for the latest happenings in the business and tech worlds, but they also count on this curated playlist to be the soundtrack of their day. So actually, here is the, let's say, place where we can really capture their attention. And one of the greatest things about Spotify is that this platform is, let's say, not so overcrowded with advertisers. There is still space to be heard, and that your voice can be heard, and that your branding can be seen. Okay, I'm coming back now to our screen. If there may be some questions about Spotify.
Thank you, Ileana, for these deepful insights. I have one question which I'm wanting to ask for a very long time. Do you maybe know, based on that Spotify is actually constantly rolling out new ad spaces, do you maybe know if they will enable the option to actually advertise with a video during the song or after the song in-app?
Yes,
like
yes, we have.
video, like on TikTok.
Yes, great question. We have video advertising as well. We have it on desktop and mobile. It's one of the regular formats from Spotify. So we have banners, we have audio. Audio is very important for Spotify because this is the audio first platform. So when we use this kind of platform as our paid advertising channel, we need to see like how users are consuming this. Users are most often on the go, having earphones in their ears. So that's why audio as a format is very, very useful for Spotify and in large focus. We also have a video as well. So a lot of our advertisers decide to have multi-format campaigns containing not only audio, they include video as well, sometimes banners too, because it depends on different KPIs, different solutions and objectives, how client wants to go. If they have a regular campaign, most often they use multi-format approach. If they have these branded profiles, they go on the banners which are driving more clicks on the playlists. So it really depends on the objective and what kind of campaign we have. And also there is a new format which is available in larger markets. It's not still available on the Balkans. It's called the sponsored session. Sponsored session means that you can have a video on the mobile. And if you watch the video until the end, so it's not skippable, for example, you watch it 15 seconds, and when you watch it until the end, you will have 30 minutes of interrupted listening without ads. This is a format that is very popular on other markets where it's available. So we are looking forward when we unlock this format for our region as well. It will for sure be a great tool also to include in the format in the format and in the media plans. So this is it from the formats. We do not have any visibility of something new coming. There are also sponsored playlists. So actually you can sponsor a certain playlist as a brand, but this is only available in multi-million markets like UK, USA, France, etc. So the most probably we will get this sponsored session that I mentioned, but we still don't have the release date official.
Sure. And I mean, I know I always use Spotify as playing in the background, mostly when I'm on my bike, when I'm in my car. And ads, I mean, I see them as an interruption unless they are creatively something that really sort of makes me smile or entertains me, because when I'm listening to Spotify, I'm either listening to podcasts, so being like educated, or music. So how would you say that the creatives have to be different from classical radio ads? I mean,
Well,
do you feel that your clients also kind of get the vibe that a Spotify ad has to add value and be interesting, not just you know, we're doing this and this and this like this? Can you say, like, illustrate on this subject some more?
Yes. Actually, there's a lot of different directions where we can go with this one. For example, we had some collaborations with artists. We were running a few L'Oreal campaigns where they were collaborating on a global level with a certain artist. For example, there was one campaign with collaboration with The Weeknd. So they actually used his campaign in the voice ad, so in the audio ad. And after let's say the ad was 15 seconds long, it was around 8 to 9 or 10 seconds the voiceover with the music of The Weeknd, and then on the end it was a verbal CTA that said actually the tagline of the campaign, or the CTA, the verbal CTA. I don't know, discover the product on the website, or etc. Also, another great tool, which we always present to the clients, it could be very nice to test, is 3D audio. So this can be really interesting to implement, where you have, let's say, when you hear the audio ad in your earphones, the music or the audio travels, like, let's say, it comes from one earphone to another. So it's a great experience for listening, actually. There was one campaign for the Game of Thrones where they were advertising the new season, and the voiceover was like, enemy from the east, enemies from the north. So the music, the audio was traveling like from one earphone to another, which can be a really great experience, where users do not perceive this as an ad. They perceive this as, let's say, part of their playlist, or some like very creative experience for listening.
Yeah, that's a very good point, that most people listen to Spotify on their earphones, so the 3D modeling of sound. Yeah.
Yes.
One other question is, do you have any like live examples of how a TikTok campaign built around a song is sort of expanded to Spotify, or how both are combined, like TikTok or vertical in general? Because vertical video is sound first, but Spotify is sound only. So how do you see these things combining?
Well, we see a lot of, let's say, combines from different platforms. To be honest, we still haven't explored this collaboration of TikToks and Spotify, because TikTok is still not open for advertising in Croatia. But this is very interesting that we will definitely dive deep more into. For example, one of the things that it's very interesting how to collaborate Spotify with other platforms is with Snap. Let's say Snap has augmented reality lenses. So augmented reality formats that you can use throughout your camera. And for example, you can combine, if you create this Spotify playlist, so branded playlist, you can combine it with the lens. For example, you can create augmented reality lens, like user is in the augmented reality experience where they have some music background or like any background connected to, let's say, this musical experience, and we can connect the CTA that leads to the Spotify playlist. So this is how we like intertwine multiple channels, but I'm really looking forward when TikTok becomes available, so we can explore this cooperation even more on Croatian markets.
Perfect. Aljaž, anything else from your end?
She said everything.
She said everything. It's been great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ileana.
Yeah. And yeah, okay, we also can't wait for TikTok advertising and vertical video to become
Definitely.
even more rich when we get all these options in the Adriatic region finally.
Definitely.
Until then, just we're gonna keep creating great organic
Keep on
content.
hustling organically.
Yes. Great. It was nice to see you guys. Hope everybody enjoyed. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so that's it. 1 hour, 30 minutes and 10 seconds, so we're right on time. It's been great.
I think it's first time we
didn't go
on time.
Yes. So yeah, to wrap up, we're going to be sending you the YouTube video, including the chapters, so you can take a look at the things that you want to look at again, and we'll be sending you the table with all the links so you can get inspired and deep dive into the examples that that touched you or that you feel that you have to show to the rest of your team. So Digital Talk, D-Talk for short, will be off during the summer, and then we're coming back with online events in September, and I think
live events in October.
October, yeah. So be sure to look out from emails from our end, and have a great summer, and see you again in the fall. Anything else?
Exactly. Enjoy your summer. We'll definitely be enjoying it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.